Now that I've built Maxwell's parents' house in Willow Creek, I now want to build a house for Maxwell and his two kids, Alberto and Trinity, in Gibbi Point, so that way I can fully immerse myself into the family gameplay that I've always dreamed of. But before we get started, I do want to say thank you to EA for giving me an early access copy to The Sims 4 Adventure Awaits. Now, before we get into the nitty gritty of this entire build and the storyline, I just want to say Adventure Awaits is probably my favorite pack of all time to date, not only because there's so much stuff for family gameplay, kids have something, adults have something, elders have something. I was going through gameplay and I found out that elders can actually play with the playground equipment. There are certain things they can and cannot interact with, but the entirety of the playground equipment is interactable for all life stages, minus infants and minus toddlers, of course. But I really love the world of Gibbi Point. I love what it represents. I love the vibe of it all. The fitness fests are in town, the jellyfish, the butterflies, the archery. Everything is just so unique and so stylized that I can see a lot of replayability in this. I can see a lot of like really good storylines and challenges coming out of this with the getaways and the custom venues. There's just a good variety of things that will keep the game, at least for me, alive and fresh. Because for me, my brain likes to think of different ideas almost every other day, which is kind of annoying, but in a way a good thing. And I'm only like scratching the surface of what I physically can do. Because when I found out Skip Broke and Agora are back from The Sims 2 and The Sims 4, I nearly lost my mind because I am a Sims 2 fan all the way through. Skip Broke came with Brandy Broke, Dustin Broke, and Bo Broke in, Pleasant View in that world. That world is iconically crazy for so many different reasons, but I love it. And then Agora came from The Sims Life Stories. If you know that one, it's a spin-off of The Sims 2. It's more story based on chapters. You have this sim named Riley Harlow who moves back to Four Corners into her aunt's house. She mysteriously goes like missing because of like a random little scheme that happened. Blame Agora and blame Riley Harlow's old flame from high school. And it was so dramatic, so crazy. I did a whole Let's Play on it. If you want to go watch it, I will link it down below in the description. So you can kind of get a synopsis of who Agora is and why I hate her so much. But the fact that they brought her back and Skip Broke from the iconic Sims 2 era is so exciting. And so now I kind of want to recreate Riley Harlow, Mikey, and like the whole people from Four Corners, including Brandy Broke and also Bo Broke. So that way we can kind of tie the entire Broke family together, because we already have Dustin Broke from Get Famous, and he's like, I think a B-lister celebrity, somewhere in that like realm of like celebrity status. So I want to try and do something with him, but I'm just not sure what I want to do just yet. So eventually, I will be recreating Brandy Broke's trailer, make the family all put together. It's gonna be a whole thing, and I'm just so excited just to tap into my family gameplay side and also my dramatic, messy side with the Adventure Awaits expansion pack, because I do want to have like a love competition type of like send-off moment at Love Highland, or like build my own and just kind of just do what I possibly want to do. But this house is actually made for the Oates family. If you've seen my first build that I was talking about, Sharon and Stuart Oates, who are the grandparents of Alberto and Trinity Oates, but the parents of Maxwell Oates. Maxwell and his two kids actually do live here, and it's a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom house. Originally, this house was going to be like kind of small, and usually the way I build, I never really plan out my floor plans ahead of time. I just usually build and hope for the best. And then I realized I did want to have some type of backyard or some type of like side yard, because originally this house did have a side yard, and usually where I'm placing this roof living room. And I wanted to have the bedrooms like across the hall from each other, and then like a bathroom in the middle. But I moved the bathroom to like the side of the house, so that way, so I moved the bathroom to the back of the house, so that way you're single there, and they only need one bathroom anyway. And I don't really anticipate Maxwell ever having a lot of money. He has less than 20,000 simoleons to his name. I did technically kind of cheat his money, and I did free real estate, so that way I can kind of build freely. And the idea that I had for Maxwell is that he's been living in Gibbi Point for the past 10 years, but he's had a lot of life changes. He's fell in love, fell out of love, made friends, enemies, co-workers, acquaintances, all the things, but he's never really tapped into into his maturity side. Sure, he has had jobs before, part-time, full-time, freelancer careers, but he's never really like taken the responsibility to go forth and get promoted and get more money and like raise a family that he's always wanted. Sure, he's adopted these two kids, Alberto and Trinity, when they were very wee little tots, but he's never really had the opportunity to step forth and like do more. And right now he's a stay-at-home dad, living his best life with his kids, making sure they get the best education, the best love, the best clothes, the best everything, the best world. And I think that's why I like Maxwell so much, because he does care about family, and family means everything to him. And so moving back to Gibbi Point, where he felt like he had another family from his camping days with Allison Dowd, who was a sim that is his childhood best friend, but kind of forgot because they grew apart over the years that they lost that relationship. But he wanted to come back where he felt the most happiest. And living in Gibbi Point with his kids probably will kind of allow him to understand and reconnect with his inner child. And what I love about Adventure Awaits is when you make an adult solely an adult, they don't really have any backstory. They're very one-sided. There's not a lot to them. But the good thing about it is that with the Sims, with Adventure Awaits, it's called formative moments. And adults can actually recall a lost formative moment, which is so helpful because then it gives your adult Sims a little bit something substantial that they can go off on and back in their life. Whether it's, something creative, something that's like activity wise, fitness wise, there's a long list of formative moments that your Sims can recall that can help them later in their life or their current life. And Maxwell, he's dabbled into a lot of different things. And since he does have the creature hunter aspiration, I had him actually get the one of the new like recalling formative moments for like collecting, and he needs to talk to Buddy Skip, who is actually the main child sim that will help you through your journey of butterfly catching. And the kids with Trinity and Alberto, they want to raise caterpillars from larvae to beautiful butterflies one day. And Maxwell, with his aspiration, will help the kids in their ontology skill one day. And he's going to also raise a caterpillar from a larva to a beautiful butterfly. And I'm really excited about that. So I wanted to make sure I included everything in this house: the kitchen, the bathroom, the living room, the study room, like all the bedrooms and all the other extra stuff. And I was gonna include a little like playground jungle gym equipment into their house, but knowing that they literally live across up a park, it didn't make any sense. So I did not include the modular playground equipment for this home. But if you do want to download this house, it will be on the gallery when it's fully available and the pack is coming out for real this week. And I'm just like downright excited for all the builds, all the stories, all the drama that will come out of this, because you literally could tap into your dramatic side, your messy side with this pack and go forth with all your ideas. And Alberto and Trinity have imaginary friends. I gave Trinity the little Sally McMop head Coraline doll, and I called her Sally McMop. And then Alberto has the little like curly Q, Carl Weasler, and like Chucky looking doll. And it's kind of cute. And the good thing about imaginary friends, there's 4 different personalities that you can give your imaginary friends: goofy, competitive, evil, or like creative. And I actually believe what I did with Alberto, I changed the personality, I think, from goofy to competitive. And then for Trinity's doll, it was like kind of like creative, and I turned it to goofy. And what's so fun about the imaginary friends is that they literally encourage the sim kids to do these challenges, do these different things. And the majority of this entire pack is so much fun because if your counter is messy, you can have your children become a nice useful like sim and do a useful challenge of like, I want to clean, I want to do X, Y, and Z things. Like there's so many formative moment challenges that your Sims can do, whether it's like inquisitive or social or whatever it might be. There's so much, and it's kind of overwhelming, but like in a good way. And I have had this pack for like 3 weeks now, and I'm still like discovering new things that I have not discovered. With my life being so busy, I didn't have a lot of time to really play everything that I wanted to play. So when I'm playing like on stream or like in YouTube videos, it's gonna be like my genuine raw reaction of understanding like, oh, I didn't know this was actually here. Oh, I'm discovering all these new things. And I've just like been the happiest person ever with Adventure Awaits. It may seem like I'm faking my personality, faking my enthusiasm, but from a family game player, This pack is my everything. I've been waiting for something like this for a very long time. Sure, it could have been in Grown Together or Parenthood or Seasons or Outdoor Retreat for all these things. But I think like with the system set in place for this, it just makes it more fun and more exciting and new and like not repetitive. So I'm hoping that for the long call, I'll actually enjoy this pack longer than like 3 months and then forget about it. And I don't think I'll ever forget about this pack because there's so many intricate systems with the formative and I don't think I'll ever forget this pack because there's so many like good features that came with this pack, like formative moments, the modular playground equipment, the imaginary friends, all of the new intricate things like the career itself, the world itself, the collections. And this is only just for the pack itself. We haven't even tapped into like all the cross pack gameplay with like Horse Ranch or Discover University or Parenthood or Seasons or Grown Together or Get Famous. There's so many systems that we haven't yet seen. And so I think it's going to be even more expansive and more like replayable for like everyone across the board, whether you love messy gameplay, family gameplay, occult gameplay. I think there's always something for everyone. And this is just coming from a person who loves playing The Sims, not an EA creator like person. I just love The Sims and I like finding new ways to be creative and think of new ideas that are probably not in the game, but I can try and replicate with my own imagination. And sure, the game is a little bit buggy from time to time, but I just like The Sims and I want it to be the best game there is in the world, and hopefully that it will, and hopefully all those bugs are fixed. But I think so far what I've noticed with Adventure Awaits is there isn't really a lot of build and buy, but there's a lot of like build and buy objects that come with so much gameplay that it kind of like, in a way, build and buy is like smaller, but the gameplay features are larger. So in a way, it kind of balances out like evenly. And I'm hopeful that we'll eventually get more cool systems like this for Adventure Awaits and future packs, because this is like up here with like Seasons and Life and Death and Parenthood and Growing Together for me. And I just live for the family life. I truly, truly, truly do. But what I want to do is go into the game and show you all the build in real time, so that way you can also see Maxwell and Trinity and Alberto and all the little fam bams before we kind of really get into all the gameplay, because I do have a little mini series that I'll be doing here on YouTube, and I've recorded quite a bit of stuff already that you have not seen. So now that we're in the game, this is what my build looks like. It's on a 30 by 20 lot. It costs your Sims less than 40,000 simoleons to live here. It does have natural light, homey, and bracy breeze as the lot traits, but also too, it's in a good location. You have like the little park across the way with the modular playground equipment, your swings, your little monkey bars. You got a little community area over here. This building right here is interactable, but these other buildings are just there as shells. This building over here is also interactable. I noticed there is actually a fitness fest that happens in this location. Mostly around this area, you'll see fitness fest over here, and then like a little archery fest over here where you can do like an archery competition. But it's so much fun, and I just like how vibrant and how beautiful the world is. This lighthouse is interactable. You can swim in the ocean, go kayaking. There's just a lot of body of water that your Sims can explore. But I wanted to make sure this house had everything your Sims needed with the bare basics, and it only uses base game and Adventure Awaits. So when I get my hands on my other packs, I might include more stuff down the line and probably upload another additional version if I wanted to, especially stuff from like Growing Together, Seasons, Parenthood, you know, my basic family packs essentially. But for this house, it does have a nice, good, decent layout. If you want to copy this layout, here it is. If you want to take a picture, you can. You got your bathroom here. You've got your bedroom here, bedroom over here, your kitchen over here, hallway, living room area, another hallway, and then like your side yard is over here. I wanted to make it very manicured and nice and neat, but also cluttered with a purpose. So that way it looks more alive and it looks like someone actually lives here. With all of my homes, I want to make it as like lived in as possible. Even if I'm not going to have my Sims actually live there, I want to tell a story through build items. So in this hallway, we have, of course, the nice little front entrance. I will say the curtains that we got with Adventure Awaits are not particularly my favorite, just because they are like very normal-esque, but they're not like your everyday curtains. I do like these curtains over here because I wish they had like a more closed version, but this one's more of an up version. The other style of curtains that we have are these right here, which are not bad. They're a little bit big originally, like this big, and I don't really particularly use the medium or tall white, and I normally don't choose the medium or tall wall height curtains just because that's not my general style. We do have like this awning right here, and then of course the regular curtain that you saw before, and then the short one. So we only have a few curtains, and they're not particularly my favorite, but they are there and versatile that you can size them down and do whatever you want with them. But essentially, the entryway is kind of like your welcoming into the family, welcoming in all your friends and people who want to come by. So over here, I did include a nice little mirror, of course, some little decor items around the little end table right here, security alarm so you don't get robbed. And I have already done some gameplay, so I did have some stuff already set in place. I do have a little like incubator right here for my caterpillar, which by the way is in a cocoon at this current moment. I also took a little photo of my little larva when it was first born on the wall. And then over here is the kitchen, and it's your standard kitchen. And I'm trying to also do different things with my kitchen style. So I didn't do cabinets all across the way like I usually do. I just kind of did it halfway, and it seemed normal. I also added in the cork board that eventually your Sims can like find pen pals and display their stuff on this cork board. The new blender that we got with Adventure Awaits. I also included this new like appliance cart, and I don't know what it is. When we get basic stuff like this, I'm living, because it's like another separate like little counter type of situation, but it's movable. So if you live in an apartment, or you have like a very small kitchen and you don't really have room for like an island or a dining room table or whatever, you can get like this movable counter and like just take it wherever you want. And I'm like, you can add appliances to this. So you can add like a microwave to this if you wanted to. And I'm like, can we have more of that, please and thank you? That would be very, very lovely. But essentially, I love this little like, you know, movable counter situation in the kitchen. It just kind of completes the room. And then over here is the standard living room. And this is kind of where I struggled and kind of went blank for the entirety of the build, because I was like, where's gonna be the living room? Because originally in the original house that was built here, the living room was over here and the kitchen was also right here. And I'm like, I want to do something a little bit different. And at first I was going to put the kitchen here, but I'm thinking if Maxwell and Alberto and Trinity are going to live here, they don't really need a big living room. And I'm trying to stay clear away from like big living rooms nowadays for my families, because I want them to go out, see people, see things, and explore life a little bit more. And plus in Gibbi Point, they have like outdoorsy things they can do rather than staying inside and playing video games. Don't judge me. But they can go outside and like, you know, do other activities, touch grass, if you will. But this is the living room. I added in the new retro gaming system, a nice small little TV that originally is this small, but I sized it up by 1 so it looks a little bit more bigger. We have a little bookcase over here. I added a little guitar, some little art prints on the wall, the new TV foldable table. It's kind of cute. It's giving, you know, family home. If you ever had like one of the like TV trays, you know, we have plenty in the home over here, and I had to add one in. I also added in coffee and tea assortments over here on this little table. And then over here we have the bathroom that everyone shares. We do have a little tub. We have a toilet and a sink. The sink and the tub are actually new with Adventure Awaits. We also have a brand new shower that I wasn't going to technically use because I was like, it's mainly used for the outside, but the shower is literally not that bad. I actually do like this shower, but it feels more outdoorsy than indoorsy. It just depends on your build that day. But then over here we have the kids' bedroom, which is my favorite bedroom. It's small, it's square, not too big, not too small, but it gets them, you know, around in their bedroom, and it's all play tested so your Sims don't get stuck anywhere. But I did add in the new bunk bed that we got with Adventure Awaits. I added some posters on the top bunk and also on the bottom bunk for storytelling purposes, some decal on the walls, a nice little mirror. The new activity mat that we get with Adventure Awaits is very nice to use. You can move it wherever you want in live mode or in build and buy. So if you want to have like it on the table right here, or put it over here on the kitchen island, you can do that as well. It's not made for the floor, but it is kind of cool that we do have like a mat that's not a standard looking table. So we do have this over here. I also included 2 more caterpillar incubators because eventually Alberto and Trinity will eventually grow their own larvae into butterflies one day. And I thought it would be kind of cool to include that over here. This camera needs to be moved like over here. But I like their dresser. I also love the little chair, but we have the imaginary friends added into this lovely home. We've got Curly Q, owned by Alberto Oates, and we've got Sally McMop, owned by Trinity. Sally McMop is a goofball imaginary friend, and Curly Q isn't a competitive, imaginary friend. There's two other personalities that you can choose from for your imaginary, whether it's evil or creative. And originally, Sally McMop was creative, and Curly Q, I think, was always, but I changed their personality so that way I can kind of see what they kind of like suggest to the kids every once in a while. And they're actually horrifyingly creepy when they are like alive. They're so helpful in suggesting challenges for the kids to tap into their creative side or silly side or evil side or even like goofy side. There's always something for all the kids. And even though that technically adults cannot interact with them, they are kind of cute to like display around the house if you want to have like a doll. For whatever reason, you have that option. And there's only like 4. But regardless, this is the kids' bedroom of where they sleep. And then over here is Maxwell's bedroom. I didn't really do too much with him because he's kind of like a standard adult sim. But also too, his backstory is that he lived and kind of breathed Gibbi Point when he went to camp here for a couple of summers. But then as he got older, he kind of forgot his childhood and forgot all the cool, exciting things that Gibbi Point brought him. Even though he moved back, he has like very little to no like memory of this place. And so moving back here is kind of a way for him to reconnect and recall what he has lost, his formative moments, his childhood, his friends, even the camp counselors and people that he's met over the years, he wants to remember again. But then over here is like their side yard, backyard situation. I did add in a little campfire from the new pack. There's 5 chairs, which means Maxwell, Alberto, Trinity, Stewart, and also Sharon Oates can all come here, sit around a campfire, sing their campfire songs, and just enjoy their time. I also included a new picnic table, some garden pots, and also the archery because Trinity is like a little Katniss Everdeen and she loves archery and so does like Maxwell. Alberto, he doesn't like archery, but it's there if he wants to do it, but Trinity loves archery way more than her twin brother. But essentially I wanted to add it in here just for moments, especially if ever there is a archery contest. I want to have my Sims be prepared as much as possible because what I learned is that first place will give your Sims over 2,500 simoleons for first place. And I'm like, hold on. Let me get that money while I can. It's a good way to do rags to riches and so you can earn money through non-traditional ways. You may lose, but you also might win at the same time. You never really know until you actually try. But either way, this is the entire house and I'm really glad that I did this for my Sims and I've played through them so far and it's like a dream come true. But if you do want to download this house, it will be available on the gallery when the full game comes out later this week. So keep your eyes peeled on the gallery under my gallery ID, which is SpringSims, or just a hashtag SpringSims as well. But either way, my friends, I hope you all enjoyed it. Let me know down in the comments below, as always, of what you thought of today's build, especially what are you looking most forward to from Adventure Awaits. But as always, go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on that notification bell so you never miss a video, and I will see you all next time. Bye!